So, President Tinubu has declared a national state of emergency in terms of security. It's about flipping time. This is long, long overdue. As a matter of fact, it should have been done with the last administration or even the one before that. Why we're so slow to react, it really baffles me. We just, instead of nipping a problem in the bud, we wait until it becomes a Frankenstein and then we start to scurry all over the place. They call it the fire brigade approach. Sadly, as sad as it sounds, in this country, it appears that's what we prefer to do. We never react, you know, and nip the problems in the bud as soon as these problems rear their ugly head. We wait and wait and wait and procrastinate and play politics with it and then play some more politics with it and then some more politics with it after that. And by then, the casualties have piled. And of course, many lives have been lost. And sometimes it's a no going back situation. It's crazy. Well, better late than never. So now that he's done that, I'm wondering what's going to happen next. I, like many Nigerians, have grown not to trust the words of politicians. What they say is one thing, and what they do is going to be another thing entirely. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed, and I'm just waiting to see exactly how it's going to go down. But what's happening now has never happened before, where you have the most powerful man in the world speak up and say, hey, look here, if you guys don't do it, I will. For those who haven't seen that video, his words weighed a ton. He wasn't playing. I had this friend who called him a clown, said that clown, that's a clown you shouldn't test, if you ask me.
Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Thousands and thousands of Christians are being killed. Radical Islamists are responsible for this mass slaughter.
Well, you heard what Trump said. He started by saying Christianity is facing an existential threat in Nigeria. Is that true? Existential threat meaning their existence is being threatened. Is that true? Yes. Now, do you know Turkey, right? Turkey, the country that sits between Europe and Asia, right at the crossroads? Well, Turkey back in the day used to be a majority Christian country. And in fact, it used to be called Anatolia. And then it became a Muslim country, and this is exactly how it started, with mass killings. So that part is true. He went further to say thousands and thousands have been killed. Is that true, or is Trump making it up? Unfortunately, that part is also true. Statistics show that since 2009 or so, sometimes the figure stands at 125,000, sometimes it's 120,000, sometimes it says 110,000, but it would be fair to say that a nice round six-figure sum of Christians have been killed since 2009. So that part is true. Now, the third thing he said it was by Islamic extremists. That part is also true. You've heard of Boko Haram, right? Check. Ansaru? Check. The Fulani herdsmen / bikers / bandits? Check. So that part is also true. As a matter of fact, the third group I mentioned are the biggest culprits of all. And I have a feeling that those are the specific groups that they want to focus on first. So let's analyze a little bit further what he said in the rest of his warning.
I am hereby making Nigeria a country of particular concern. That's a legal definition. When the Christians or any such group is slaughtered, like is happening in Nigeria, 3,100 versus 4,476 worldwide. What horrible numbers. Something has to be done.
So what did Trump just say? First of all, he said he's designating Nigeria as a country of particular concern. Now, he didn't stop there. He went further to state that that is the legal definition. What did those words mean? Basically, what that meant is there is an existing legal framework which backs it up, which in turn will be used as a legal backup for the machinery, for the clockwork to roll into action. In other words, it's not just rhetoric, it's not just talk, it is legally backed and action will be taken. That's the first thing. Then he went further to say something about the numbers. Worldwide, 3,100 Christians killed in Nigeria out of 4,476 worldwide. That means in Nigeria alone, 69.3% of Christians killed worldwide were killed in Nigeria. Excuse me. Now that's an alarming number, which brings me to the concluding part of this short clip, where he said, that's a horrible number. And indeed it is. It is a horrible number, and it is really cause for alarm. So, in this aspect, Trump was also once again correct.
I am asking Congressman Riley Moore, together with Chairman Tom Cole and the House Appropriations Committee, to immediately look into this matter and to report back to me. And I mean, like, immediately. The United States cannot stand by while such atrocities are happening in Nigeria and numerous other countries. It's not only Nigeria, it's all over. We stand ready, willing, and able to save our great Christian population around the world. This is not going to happen. The killing of Christians is not going to happen.
So he instructs the Congress to swing into action, naming the particular congressman he expects to be on the job, and says the House Appropriations Committee should look into the matter and report to him immediately. There was a note of urgency in that. And then he goes further to say the United States will not stand by and watch such atrocities being committed, not only in Nigeria, but worldwide. So you see, he takes it a little bit further there by saying it's worldwide, not just in Nigeria. Now, if in case you didn't know, this is not the first time that Trump has spoken on this subject. Back in 2018, when former President Buhari went to visit him in the White House, they had a closed-door meeting, after which they emerged to address the press and let the press know what had been discussed. And I think the first thing he said when they emerged from that meeting was that they were not happy with the killing of Christians in Nigeria, and it had to stop because it is something the United States would not tolerate. Back then, he didn't say it with the kind of venom he's now saying it with. He actually said it with a smile on his face and was looking across at Buhari while he said it. And Buhari, of course, being Buhari, responded by giving excuses and saying they don't know, the herdsmen he knows only have machetes and sticks, and they don't know who these people with AK-47s are. Those are not, yeah, you know, the usual stuff, the usual excuses that we've heard like a zillion times. Now, in conclusion, Trump says it is not going to happen. Now, do you think this was just rhetoric, or is he actually going to do something? So Trump was very specific with what he said. He named the place, named the actors, and stated what was going to be done about it. Now, could he have put it in a more diplomatic manner? Yeah, he probably could have. For instance, if he had said the killing of Nigerian indigenous people, that would have covered more bases. Because truth be told, most of these killings going on around Nigeria have something to do with either ethnicity or religion or both. Even though I would say it's more about ethnicity, but that does not rule out the religious aspect because the religious aspect is the vehicle that drives it. Without the use of religion, I don't know how else they would be able to achieve what they've done so far. So it's very important that that should not be swept under the carpet. Although, having said that, ethnicity plays a major role. And if he had said the killings of the indigenous people of Nigeria, that covers a lot more people. As a matter of fact, this covers almost everywhere. Because if you ask me, I would say the Hausa people, who are mostly Muslims, have been victims of genocide as well. Let me explain how. This whole thing did not start in 2009 or 2001 or 2002 like we're hearing. It started in 1804, the Jihad of 1804, by a man named Usman Dan Fodio and his followers. And who were the first victims? The Hausa people. And the descendants of those people are still there today. And they still rule over the Hausa people. As a matter of fact, many Nigerians don't know this, but the Hausa people are the only tribe in Nigeria whose traditional rulers come from another tribe. Now, if you're Yoruba, for instance, can you imagine the Oni of Ife being from Benin or being Igbo or something? And if you're Igbo, can you imagine the Igwe of Onitsha being an Ijaw person? So that's how it is for the Hausas. It's been like that for them for 200 years. But I think what's prevented them from really speaking up like they should is religion. So you see, religion is a major factor in this whole thing. Somehow, there's this code of silence that they feel bound to because of religion. Like in Hausa, they would say Namune, meaning it's ours. Muslimine, Dukamu Muslimine, we're all Muslims. But that's not the reason why it should take such. I mean, the slaughter of people is a very serious thing. And at the end of the day, it's not really about that religion. They're pulling the wool over your eyes. So Hausa people need to wake up and maybe join the rest of us in saying, look, genocide is being committed. Because the truth is, genocide is indeed being committed against the indigenous people of Nigeria. All right, I'm going to stop here. If you had a good time and you learned something new, we can do it again. Give me a thumbs up, make a comment, let me know how you feel, and subscribe and follow my channel if you can find it in you to do that. And I'll be with you next time.